Okay, regardless if you are a producer or a consumer on social media, you all can start executing this next strategy. And that's really taking the look or the new lens of when you look at social media, specifically with Instagram and Facebook. I want you to look at it as an extension of your CRM, even just an extension of your database for client or partner nurturing. You're using it to nurture relationships in a space where people are spending a lot of time at. So in case you didn't know, there are two feature updates that I've been talking about this a couple times, but I haven't shown you all how to exactly do this. So the way I want you to kind of segment your database is if you think of your top priority partners. So for Facebook, you can only have at max 30 people in your favorites feed. And on Instagram, you can have up to 50. Now, if you're an influencer client of ours, we will totally set this up for you on both accounts. All we need is an Excel spreadsheet. If you'll put them 1 through 50, while knowing that the first 30 we will set up as your favorites feed on your Facebook, and we will do the top 50 on your Instagram. But if you want to send us that information, that Excel spreadsheet, we will actually do this for you as an influencer client. But for the rest of you, as your calendar shows, okay, best practices, it says leave 20 comments on your top accounts. So when you think of your top accounts, I want you to think of these could be new recruits that you're dripping on. It could be partners that are already sending you business that you want to be their biggest fan. Because at a time when people just aren't liking and commenting as much anymore, which we've seen a huge decline of that, and that's largely due to just the adoption of increased screen time where people just, over time we get lazy and we just don't like and comment as much as we used to, although people can't hide from a view. So as long as they watch a video for at least 3 seconds, it'll count as a view. And don't forget on Instagram, you can click on any post and then click insights and you'll scroll down and you can see how many shares and how many saves. Those are the killer metrics. If you have people saving your content, that means that's a good piece of content that people are wanting to go back and look at. So don't get too caught up in just likes and comments. But regardless, I want you all to be more intentional during your prospecting time where you're using social media as a tool and not just a toy. And again, this is for those of you who may be great at consuming. So you're good at getting on maybe Facebook or Instagram. You're letting us do all of your post for you, but the relationship management piece, especially right now, is critical. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how to do this on the desktop. Okay, so first thing you can see I have Facebook up and I'm just on my home feed here. And you'll see at the very top, see where it says feeds right here? If I click on feeds, this will show all feeds, your favorites, your friends, different groups, and pages. So if I want to take a look at people that I have assigned to my favorites, then all I have to do is click on my favorites feed, and it's going to show me people of my highest relationship or most influential people. And this could even be a client of yours that you know is pretty heavy on social media. Like maybe they're in all the mom groups. And so you want to make sure that you are actively showing them love. So again, we want to make sure we protect our time because let's face it, we can all get distracted on social media where we see the notifications and we immediately start doing things that we shouldn't. I want you all to have laser focused 20 minutes a day. First thing you do is you're wishing your friends happy birthday when it's their birthday. I will say after just having a birthday, I really appreciated those who sent video, like customized messages to me because I had so many people writing on my timeline, it can easily get lost. And then I wasn't a huge fan of those who had made videos that were branded where it felt almost promotional. It just didn't really feel as genuine. So leverage Facebook or even LinkedIn where it'll tell you whose birthdays they are. And whether you choose to then take the extra step to do a video message or not is up to you. But first things first, I would go to my birthdays and I would wish those a happy birthday. I also allow that to be a good time to remove people that I'm friends with. I'm getting at the max capacity level. Once you hit 5,000 friends, you can't have any more. So, this is a great option or opportunity for you to also clean up your list a little bit. But you can see if I click on Todd and it says we're friends, this is where I would add him to my favorites. So obviously Todd is someone that I want to make sure that I'm nurturing and I want to see what's going on in his life and make sure that I'm liking and commenting on as many posts as possible. But this is how you would add them or remove them to your favorites list. Again, you can have up to 30 on Facebook. For Instagram, and just to go back, so if I were to click this home button here, if you're on an iPhone, the difference is it'll be at the bottom. You'll see this icon that looks like this. That's your feed option. For Instagram, if I were to go to here on this drop down arrow, kind of easy to miss, but I'm on the desktop, and this is true for on mobile too. If I click the down arrow, which I don't think I have any favorites on this one yet, but I would click here where it says favorites, or I could click on following. So again, following is what its default, what it's set to. You can see the little check mark there. I could click favorites here. Okay, and obviously right now I don't have anyone in my favorites, so it's not going to show me. But this is how you can be more intentional. In fact, let me see. Let me go to, okay, so if I wanted to add someone on, like let's say I want to add Shayla to my favorites. So I see her post here. I would click on these three dots where the post is, and I could just click add to favorites. Let's see, maybe. So now I can click on this down arrow and go to favorites. And this is, again, this is how you can be super intentional with your time. And every single application you get. In fact, if you guys want to see kind of how I structure my database, I can. But every single app has an opportunity for you to look for the CPA that's on the tax return. And if there is no CPA, if it says self-prepared, then I would be notating that in your CRM. Every single divorce decree you get, you're looking for the divorce attorney, and you're adding that to your CRM, and you're putting them in a group. If they are a renter and they're coming from a certain apartment complex, I would call the leasing manager and see, hey, we have a client that's looking to buy a home. I just wanted to reach out and see, are you guys at max capacity? Any apartment complex that's at max capacity is wanting to get old renters out that had signed lease agreements that were, locked in at a lower rate than what they're charging today. That would be a great opportunity to possibly host a home buying class. If you are taking a loan app and you're hearing just through the conversation that it's someone that carries a lot of influence and they're very heavy on social media, how are you able to rate your database on a 1-star, 3-star, or 5-star? So I use the database, it's capital B, capital N Touch. It's actually a mortgage CRM. Any CRM that you use where you're actually using a CRM where you can collect information about the client and the client situation right now is going to help you when it comes to times like today, where maybe you want to go back and you want to touch on some of those renters at the beginning of the year, or people who said, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, I'm not going to submit an offer at 100,000 over list price. I'm just going to go ahead and rent. Instead, how are you easily creating those groups in your CRM where you could send one of the social media posts that either we create for you, or if you have a video, you could immediately send that video that is speaking the language and speaking value that is most important to that client segment. So whenever we talk about an ideal audience, you have to think of the different client segments and which ones are buying and selling right now. From the classes that I'm teaching, just with rooms full of real estate agents, most of them are saying that the people who are buying or selling, it's largely due to life events, moving out of Texas because it's too hot, or they want to be closer to family, or, death, divorce, births. So it's important to make sure that you have even the situation of the client. Like maybe you help them buy their second home and you are part of helping them sell the first home because they were expecting another child or their children were in middle school. Well, then now, based off their situation of what their motive and their motivation was to buy at that time, you have a general idea of who you could nurture on and which pieces of content you can send, where it's not always a one size fits all, because nobody wants to feel like if I'm getting an email that's about super seniors being able to trade in on their equity and get a reverse mortgage, that's not relevant to me. Although it could, I guess it could for my parents. So it depends on how well you know your clients and how are you documenting their situation in your CRM, where you can then target market to them. So that is my tip of the week. Database management is huge. If you don't have a CRM and you don't have an active strategy of how you're touching them, I would highly encourage you all to take this time during the off season to get really granular on how you're keeping up with your data, and then also making sure that you're extrapolating as many contacts as possible from every single loan app that you get. All right. If you guys need anything, just email marketing@plugandplaysm.com and we will be happy to help. You guys crush your week.